You loan your best friend a Lamborghini for one weekend, and 2 days later, it comes back looking like it fought a brick wall and lost. That's exactly what happened in this courtroom case. And what started as a simple favor between friends turned into a lawsuit, accusations of insurance fraud, and one explosive moment that had Judge Judy raising her eyebrows higher than usual. And trust me, by the time the truth came out, nobody in that courtroom saw it coming. So here's how it all went down. The plaintiff in this case is a man named Marcus Langston. Marcus is a 38-year-old entrepreneur from Los Angeles who runs a luxury car rental business. Not the kind you find at the airport. We're talking high-end exotics, Ferraris, McLarens, Bentleys, and the centerpiece of his collection, a yellow Lamborghini Huracan. Marcus claims he works hard for everything he owns. According to him, that Lamborghini cost him over $280,000, and normally he only rents it to verified clients who put down massive deposits. But the person sitting on the other side of the courtroom wasn't a customer. It was his friend. The defendant is Trevor Blake, 36 years old. Trevor and Marcus met nearly 10 years ago at a marketing conference. They hit it off immediately and stayed friends ever since. Trevor describes their relationship as like brothers. They went on trips together, watched football together, and occasionally did business deals together. But today, they're sitting on opposite sides of a courtroom. Marcus is suing Trevor for $92,500. That's the estimated repair cost for the Lamborghini after it crashed during a weekend Trevor borrowed it. Marcus claims Trevor was driving recklessly and destroyed the car. Trevor claims something very different. According to Trevor, the car was already damaged before he ever touched it, and he believes Marcus staged the whole thing to collect insurance money. The courtroom goes quiet when that accusation hits the air. Insurance fraud. That's not just a disagreement. That's a serious allegation. Judge Judy leans back in her chair and looks over her glasses. She says calmly, "All right, somebody here is not telling the truth." And that's when the story really begins. Marcus explains what happened first. He says about 4 months before the accident, Trevor called him with a special request. Trevor's girlfriend had just graduated from law school. To celebrate, Trevor planned a weekend trip to Malibu. He wanted to make it special. And what better way to impress your girlfriend than pulling up in a bright yellow Lamborghini? Marcus says Trevor begged him to borrow the car for just 2 days. Marcus claims he was hesitant at first because normally when people rent the Lamborghini, they sign a strict contract and put down a $20,000 security deposit. Trevor didn't do either. But Marcus says he trusted him. He says Trevor promised to treat the car like it was made of glass. So Marcus handed over the keys. Trevor picked the car up on a Friday afternoon. Everything seemed fine. Marcus even took a picture of Trevor standing next to the car, smiling before he drove away. Then Sunday night came, and that's when Marcus says he got the phone call. Trevor sounded shaken. He said he had been driving back from Malibu when another car suddenly cut him off. He swerved, lost control, and slammed into a concrete divider. Marcus says when he arrived at the scene, he almost fainted. The front of the Lamborghini was completely crushed. The hood was bent upward. The bumper was hanging off, and one of the headlights was shattered. Marcus says the damage was catastrophic. He had the car towed immediately. When the repair estimate came back, it was nearly $93,000. Marcus says Trevor apologized and promised to figure something out. But weeks passed, then months, and Trevor never paid. Marcus says Trevor eventually stopped answering his calls. So Marcus filed this lawsuit. He looks directly at Judge Judy and says, "I trusted my friend, and he destroyed my car." Judge Judy turns to Trevor. Trevor shakes his head immediately. He says, "That's not what happened." Trevor doesn't deny the crash, but he says Marcus is hiding something very important. According to Trevor, the Lamborghini already had serious damage before he borrowed it. Trevor claims the car had been in a previous accident. He says Marcus told him about it casually, but said it had been repaired. Trevor says when he picked up the car, something felt off immediately. He claims the steering wheel pulled slightly to the right, and there was a strange vibration when driving over 60 miles per hour. Trevor says he mentioned it to Marcus. Marcus allegedly told him not to worry, but Trevor says the problem got worse during the Malibu trip. He claims on the drive back, the steering suddenly locked up for a split second. That's when he lost control. Trevor insists the crash wasn't reckless driving. He says it was mechanical failure. And then Trevor drops the bombshell. He says after the crash, Marcus seemed almost too calm. Instead of asking if Trevor was okay, Marcus started taking pictures of the damage. Lots of pictures. Trevor says Marcus kept saying one strange sentence over and over. Insurance will cover it. Trevor pauses and looks directly at Judge Judy. Then he says something that makes the entire courtroom murmur. I think Marcus wanted that car wrecked. Judge Judy's eyebrows shoot up. Marcus immediately protests. That's ridiculous. But Trevor continues. He says Marcus had been complaining about the Lamborghini for months. According to Trevor, the car had been sitting unused in Marcus's garage because repair issues kept popping up. Trevor claims Marcus had even talked about selling it because insurance costs were high. Then Trevor says something even more explosive. He claims Marcus encouraged him to take the Lamborghini on the highway. Trevor says Marcus specifically told him, open it up a little. That's what the car is made for. Trevor believes Marcus knew the car had mechanical problems and wanted an accident to justify an insurance payout. Marcus looks furious. He says Trevor is inventing stories to avoid paying. Judge Judy raises her hand. Enough. She looks at Trevor. You're accusing this man of insurance fraud. Trevor nods. Yes, Your Honor. Judge Judy turns to Marcus. Did this vehicle have previous damage? Marcus hesitates for a second. Then he says, it had a minor repair 2 years ago. Judge Judy leans forward. What kind of repair? Marcus answers quietly. Front suspension. The courtroom suddenly feels a little more tense. Judge Judy asks, how much did that repair cost? Marcus responds, about $15,000. Judge Judy stares at him. So the part of the car that failed in this accident had already been repaired before? Marcus shifts in his seat. Well, yes. Trevor nods slowly like he expected that answer. Judge Judy scribbles something on her notepad. Then she asks Trevor, did you sign any agreement when you borrowed the car? Trevor says no. No rental contract, no waiver, no paperwork at all, just a handshake between friends. Judge Judy sighs. This is why I always say doing business with friends is dangerous. Then she asks Marcus the question that might decide the entire case. Did you inspect the car with him before he drove it away? Marcus says yes, but Trevor interrupts. That inspection lasted about 10 seconds. Marcus snaps back. You said everything looked fine. Trevor shakes his head. I trusted you. Judge Judy holds up her hand again. She's clearly annoyed. Then she asks something critical. Was there insurance on the car? Marcus says yes. Full coverage. Judge Judy asks, and did you file a claim? Marcus nods. Yes. The courtroom becomes very quiet. Judge Judy asks one final question. How much did the insurance company pay? Marcus answers slowly. $80,000. Trevor's head turns sharply. Wait, what? Marcus quickly adds, but the total repair cost was $92,000. Judge Judy narrows her eyes. So you've already been paid most of the repair cost. Marcus nods. But Trevor is responsible for the remaining balance. Trevor laughs in disbelief. You're suing me after the insurance company paid you $80,000? Judge Judy raises her voice. Sir, this is my courtroom. You'll speak when I ask. Trevor apologizes, but the tension is now sky high because the case suddenly looks very different. Marcus has already received insurance money, but Trevor insists the accident was caused by mechanical failure. And that's when Judge Judy asks the question nobody expected. Do we have the repair report from the mechanic? Marcus says yes. He hands over a thick stack of papers. Judge Judy begins flipping through them. The room is completely silent. And then she stops on one page. Her expression changes. She looks up slowly and says something that makes both men freeze. Well, this is interesting. And that's where things take a dramatic turn, because hidden in that repair report was a detail neither side expected to be discussed in court. And it was about to change everything. Judge Judy is staring at the repair report. The courtroom is completely silent. Marcus shifts in his seat. Trevor leans forward slightly, trying to read the judge's expression. Judge Judy slowly removes her glasses, then puts them back on. That's usually not a good sign. She taps the page with her pen and looks directly at Marcus. Mr. Langston, according to this report, the mechanic found something unusual in the vehicle's onboard computer. Marcus swallows. Unusual how? Judge Judy reads from the page. The car's internal data system recorded driving activity approximately 1 hour before the crash. Trevor immediately speaks up. That makes sense. I was driving. Judge Judy raises her hand. I'm not finished. She continues reading. The vehicle reached 124 miles per hour on Pacific Coast Highway. The courtroom murmurs. Judge Judy looks directly at Trevor. You told me earlier you were driving carefully and lost control because of a mechanical issue. Trevor nods. Yes, Your Honor. Judge Judy tilts her head. So explain why you were going 124 miles per hour. Trevor's eyes widen. What? That's impossible. Judge Judy slides the document toward him. That's what the vehicle's data recorder says. Trevor looks down at the page. He shakes his head slowly. That can't be right. Marcus crosses his arms. Well, that explains the crash. Trevor immediately fires back. No, it doesn't. Judge Judy interrupts again. Let him speak. Trevor takes a breath. I never went that fast. Judge Judy asks calmly, what speed were you driving? Trevor answers, maybe 65, 70 at most. Judge Judy taps the paper again. The computer says 124. Trevor rubs his forehead. That's not possible. Marcus leans forward. You wrecked my car because you were driving like an idiot. Trevor slams his hand lightly on the table. That's not what happened. Judge Judy gives him a look, the kind of look that instantly quiets a courtroom. Trevor lowers his voice. Sorry, Your Honor. Judge Judy studies him for a moment. Then she flips another page in the report, and suddenly her expression changes again. She leans closer to the document. Then she asks Marcus a question that seems oddly specific. Mr. Langston, when exactly did Mr. Blake pick up the vehicle? Marcus answers quickly. Friday around 3 p.m. Judge Judy nods. And when did the crash happen? Marcus responds. Sunday night around 9. Judge Judy glances back down at the report. Then she reads another line. The vehicle recorded the 124 mph event at 11:42 a.m. on Friday. Trevor blinks. Friday morning? Judge Judy nods slowly. Yes. The entire courtroom goes quiet. Trevor immediately speaks. That's before I even had the car. Judge Judy looks at Marcus. Marcus suddenly looks uncomfortable. Judge Judy asks calmly, who had the vehicle Friday morning? Marcus clears his throat. Well, I did. Judge Judy leans back. So the highest speed recorded by the car happened before you gave it to him. Trevor's head snaps toward Marcus. Marcus quickly says, that doesn't mean anything. Judge Judy raises an eyebrow. It means quite a lot. She continues reading the report. The mechanic also notes that during the high-speed event, the vehicle's traction control system logged an error in the front steering assembly. Trevor immediately points toward Marcus. That's the same part that was repaired before. Judge Judy nods. Yes, it is. Marcus shifts uncomfortably. Judge Judy now looks very interested. She flips back to the first repair report Marcus mentioned earlier, the one from 2 years ago. She compares the documents side by side. Then she asks Marcus another question. Mr. Langston, after that previous accident, was the steering assembly fully replaced or simply repaired? Marcus hesitates. Well, it was repaired. Judge Judy looks at him sharply. Repaired, not replaced. Marcus nods slowly. Yes. Judge Judy turns to Trevor. Did you experience steering issues while driving? Trevor answers immediately. Yes. He describes the vibration again, and the moment the steering wheel briefly locked. Judge Judy nods thoughtfully. Then she addresses Marcus again. Did you tell Mr. Blake about the prior suspension damage? Marcus pauses. Not in detail. Trevor laughs under his breath. You barely mentioned it. Judge Judy holds up her hand again. She's now clearly piecing things together. Then she asks Marcus one final question. Mr. Langston, after the crash, did the insurance company perform their own investigation? Marcus nods. Yes. Judge Judy asks, did they inspect the car's onboard computer? Marcus says yes. Judge Judy raises her eyebrow. And they still paid you $80,000? Marcus nods again. Yes. Judge Judy taps the desk. Then she says something that changes the entire mood of the courtroom. Well, they may want their money back. Marcus freezes. Trevor's eyes widen. Judge Judy continues calmly. Because if the mechanical failure existed before Mr. Blake drove the car, then he may not be responsible for the accident. Marcus immediately protests. But he crashed it. Judge Judy looks at him sharply. Cars don't crash themselves, but defective parts can cause accidents. She turns to Trevor. Did you take any pictures or video after the crash? Trevor nods quickly. Yes, I did. Judge Judy asks him to approach. Trevor hands over his phone. On the screen is a video he recorded moments after the accident. The courtroom watches silently. In the video, Trevor is standing next to the damaged Lamborghini. The front wheels are turned slightly inward, but the steering wheel inside the car is crooked, completely off center. Judge Judy pauses the video. She points at the screen. That's significant. Marcus shakes his head. That proves nothing. Judge Judy responds immediately. It proves the steering linkage may have failed. Trevor looks relieved. Marcus looks nervous. Judge Judy sits back in her chair and folds her hands. Then she delivers a long pause, the kind of pause that makes everyone in the room lean forward. Finally, she says, I believe both of you are telling part of the truth. Marcus and Trevor both look confused. Judge Judy continues. Mr. Blake was driving the vehicle when it crashed. That part is undisputed. Trevor nods slowly. But Judge Judy says, the evidence suggests the car may have had a pre-existing mechanical defect. Marcus opens his mouth to speak. Judge Judy cuts him off. You knew this vehicle had prior suspension damage. Marcus sighs. Yes, Judge Judy continues. You loaned it to someone without warning him about the full extent of that damage. Marcus stays silent. Judge Judy then turns to Trevor. But you're not completely innocent either. Trevor straightens. The vehicle data proves you were driving aggressively at some point during that trip. Trevor starts to protest. Judge Judy raises her voice slightly. I didn't say during the crash, but you clearly enjoyed the car's speed. Trevor sighs. That's fair. Judge Judy nods. But the critical question is why the steering system failed. She holds up the mechanic's report. The most likely explanation is a weakened steering assembly from the prior accident. Marcus rubs his temples. Judge Judy delivers the verdict. Mr. Langston, you seem you're responsible for providing a safe vehicle. She pauses. And you failed to do that. Marcus's shoulders drop. Judge Judy continues. I'm dismissing your claim for $92,500. Trevor exhales deeply, but Judge Judy isn't done. However, she says firmly, Mr. Blake was still driving the vehicle and bears some responsibility for operating it at high speeds. Trevor nods slowly. Judge Judy finishes the ruling. I'm ordering Mr. Blake to pay $5,000 toward repair costs for negligent driving. Marcus looks stunned. Trevor looks relieved. Judge Judy hits the desk lightly with her pen. That's my judgment. The courtroom buzzes with whispers. Marcus shakes his head in disbelief. Trevor quietly thanks the judge. And just like that, a friendship that lasted nearly a decade ends in a courtroom ruling. Now here's the part that really sticks with you. This case wasn't just about a Lamborghini crash. It was about trust. Marcus trusted his friend with a $250,000 car. Trevor trusted his friend that the car was safe. And when something went wrong, neither one took full responsibility. Judge Judy often says something that fits this case perfectly. Friendship and business don't mix. And when you add a Lamborghini into the equation, the stakes get even higher. There are a few big lessons here. First, never loan expensive property without a written agreement. A simple contract could have avoided this entire lawsuit. Second, if you own something valuable, you have a responsibility to make sure it's safe before letting someone use it. And third, speed and luxury cars are a dangerous combination if you're not careful. At the end of the day, this courtroom drama had everything. Friendship, blame, mechanical failure, insurance money, and a twist hiding inside a car's computer system. But the real damage wasn't just the Lamborghini. It was the relationship between two people who used to call each other brothers. And that might be the most expensive loss of all.